technical difficulties, and I had to go run to the store, and I can't run in heels, so I had to.
Anyway, next up we have Hallie Rodriguez with an original essay called Lost and Found.
A conceptual mini-series, Lost and Found. Part 1, the concept of happiness, the balcony. Happiness was not made for eternal experience. Happiness was made for a momentary understanding, a sudden feeling of undeniably intense brightness. I recall having been on a balcony in the middle of the night a few summers back. I was dancing for hours. People passed by below, and the color of the sky grew ever more dark, and I continued to dance and babble on about outer space and the universe. I felt passion and wonder, and it was as if I had become one with the night sky. I was burning with desire and thriving in innocence. I felt like forever. It's been 2.5 years, and yet I have not been happier. Part 2, the concept of friendship, the park. This past October, I spent a night with friends at City Park, courtesy of the Haynes Theater Department. This is where I fell witness to smiling and hand-holding and, above all, friendship. Thrilling screams and terrific laughter, and a night I'll always remember. Nothing is better than being surrounded by people you love and making yourself sick with excitement. I arrived home that evening and immediately scribbled down my last thought. It said I wish I would take more pictures. There is so much to live for. Part 3, the concept of grief, the cemetery. Sometimes the air is a little thicker than other times. The clouds drift wearily above, trees seem to sag, and there's a gloom cascading over all the misfortune you see. I hope there's a place somewhere of people we've lost that have been found. I hope if I ever lose myself, I am found. You know, every now and then I end up sitting in a cemetery, talking to the air about absolutely anything. I may appear lonely, yet I find myself laughing, smiling, embracing the lack of response as I fiddle with the grass. I used to cry at the cemetery. I don't anymore. There's a significance to negative emotions. Grief plays a role in everyone's life. It's not that you have to get over it. It's that you have to learn to live with it. Part 4, the concept of beauty. The beach. There's a certain serenity found at the beach. Over summer, I took a day trip to the Gulf with some of my best friends. On the ferry ride to the island, I saw purity in the very filthy water. On the island, I burned my feet running over the rather scalding sand. I ended up bleeding all over because of some flies trying to eat me. I also got a really weird tan. I wanted to cry, and I was miserable for the first few hours. Then my friends and I took a walk along the water, where I photographed everything beautiful I could see. There was a sort of life to the lifeless on the shore and in the sea. I waited for my feet to sink into the sand with every footstep I took, only to be washed away in a moment. It was magnificent. I saw stillness and seaweed, and movement and stingrays, and dancing and dolphins. The beauty wasn't permanent, and neither was the memory. But it kept me going. It kept me breathing. I knew when it was over, but I still expected more. They'll never take the summer from me. I found it. Part 5, the concept of love, the river. There was never a particular moment I remember feeling any more love than usual. However, when I was younger, I would frequently visit my aunt's property across the lake. I would always walk away from the adults and sit on the dock by the river and think about whatever 7-year-olds like to think about. I remember feeling the trees breathe around me and watching the water swirl below me. I remember feeling a little less human and a little more natural. I remember becoming a poem, a song, a piece of work created by the grand scene around me. This is how I learned to love myself. I learned to live in dedication to all that I have been and all that I have loved. You don't have to love me. You already did. Part 6, the concept of reality, the world. I don't think things were ever meant to be simple or meaningful. I think things were meant to make you feel. The world is a work of art in subjective context. The world is a collection of things from an objective view. Reality is not focused on innocence. Reality drifts around the consciousness of negativity in our world. We value consistency and pattern and routine, but reality changes, and truthfully, it's scary. I fear the things I cannot control. I cannot control anything. Something incredible has gone missing. I hope it is found. Part 7, the concept of being alive. The journey. You'll never live to be alive if you merely exist. I lived through many moments of confusion, and am full of these weird anecdotes that mean nothing to anyone but me. I think when we're existing, not living, we never stop. We spend most of our days and most of our nights chasing tomorrow. We go on and don't take a break to understand the very concepts that construct our lives. We rush, we speed, we forget, we don't breathe. I think that's where we go wrong. I think that's where life ends and lies begin. Jack London wrote, "I would rather be a superb meteor, every atom of me in magnificent glow, than a sleepy and permanent planet. The function of man is to live, not to exist." Part 8, the concept of us, the words. You are the sun and moon and stars. I am an insignificant piece of the universe craving acknowledgement. We are connected in ourselves and in our souls. We are one and we are whole. Is there a sense of truth to our words? I don't know. Because the truth behind all of this is that there is no truth. Absolute certainty is absolute uncertainty. We don't always live and we don't always exist. We manipulate. Essentially who? Or what would we be if we were incapable? I think we would be lost. I don't think we would be found. The end.